Hey everyone, this is Vritvi and welcome back to Vritvi Talks, the Ambition podcast. Well, time and again we try to bring to you some amazing guests out there who can actually tickle your brains into some rational thinking. There are some startups that are bootstrapped, and then there are these startups that always make sure to hire or be mentored by an expert, be it a marketer or a creative person who can actually monitor things around and make sure that the startup is scalable. Today's guest is someone who has been a nominee for LinkedIn Top Creators 30 Under 30. He has helped scale a few renowned startups like Filter Copy, Dice Media, Paytm Insider, Your Story, and Y Combinator, which is a Kunal Shah backed startup. Maybe there are a few more which I'm not aware of, but yeah, these are the few that he has actually helped scale them up. Currently, he is a growth advisor to Finance with Sharan's startup. He is also mentoring a few CXOs and helping a few more startups like these scale up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Sindhu Biswal. Hi, Sindhu. Welcome to Vritvi Talks, the Ambition podcast.
Hey, Vritvi, hi. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, someone like you who has such great exposure in the field of advertising and marketing. So,
No,
yeah.
thank you so much. Likewise, likewise.
Okay. So, Sindhu, like we have had a chat over this about your journey and all. So, I'm sure it will be a great pleasure for my audience also to know your entire journey, right from, coming from a small town, uh, and coming up here in Mumbai, and that too, you're pursuing a career in a field of marketing, which is like very rare, and I think it's very tough to have that big city dream and becoming successful also in a way because your career graph has been commendable so far, right? So please tell us something about your transformative journey.
Um, so I didn't have a plan. Like every other person from I don't like using the word small town, but let's for the lack of better words, let's start using it. I had the same dream of joining an IIM, IITs,
Yeah.
but I would take all the blame of not doing the hard work. I just
Mm-hmm.
can't say that, okay, I have done enough hard work and luck did not give me. So I come
Okay.
from a city called Cuttack. It's in Orissa.
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard of marketing till my bachelor's also. So
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with music first.
Okay.
And I started spending a lot of time in a production house, which is owned by Z now. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to learn music composing, arranging, mixing, mastering, the technical side of your music. And
Okay.
that's how the journey started. And it was purely out of what passion. And I was not getting any money out of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
did that. I wanted to do BTech at IITs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because इसलिए नहीं because कि, okay, I knew I wanted that. It's just because I didn't have my own dream. Hence, I
Mm-hmm.
was borrowing others' dream, I would rather say.
Okay.
So I did not qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And I had only one choice to do BBA. Because BCom maybe मेरा नहीं हो रहा था. And I joined BBA to get proxy. It was a government college. And 9 hours, 10 hours, I used to still spend with the music production house. So for the 3 years, I did half-time BBA and full-time music.
Okay.
Then that is the time I have done a lot of groundwork. So I did a
Mm-hmm.
lot of music releases,
Mm-hmm.
video marketing, cassettes marketing. These are the days when cassettes were a big thing and VCDs
Yeah.
were still a big thing.
Yeah.
I did event marketing, artist launches and all. And then I realized that, okay, maybe marketing is the thing that I should go.
Mm-hmm.
And I started preparing for CAT. I scored what, 50 percentile or 60? But then I was like, okay, 60 percentile, no one is like, people score 90 and still do not get. I'm like, okay, this
Yeah.
is not happening.
Yeah.
I saw an ad of Amity University saying that they have a course which teaches music marketing as a
Okay.
specialization.
Okay.
I had never used internet before that for study purposes. And I
Okay.
was like, okay, theek hai, let's go for it. And then I moved out from Orissa for the first time in my life to
Hmm.
any city, actually, not even metro.
Hmm.
Like I never moved
Hmm.
out of that city.
Hmm.
I went to Noida, did my 2 years of MBA there.
Hmm.
Majority of my time I was spending with startup founders. Slightly started liking the world of startups. Then went back to Bombay. Not exactly back, but went to Bombay. The only reason is I was in the founding team of a social networking app, and our investors were in Bombay. So that was my first job, and then I joined Paytm Insider. It was so I would still say that okay, I joined local level music industry, media industry out of passion, but national level OTT or mainstream level out of luck. I would give a lot of credit to luck and not being the best person in the whole craft. I can now say I'm one of the best person in the craft, but back in those days, I'm pretty sure there are way better people than me. But one thing I would take a lot of credit is the hustle. Like I used to always ask myself, I still ask that, okay, why would, let's say if I have to pitch to T series, why would a T series say yes to me? And I write a long pager doc. I go out of the box to figure out that, okay, what is it in a different way that I'm doing that no one else is doing? So that I can take a lot of credit for.
Okay. So for your journey has been more of like, okay, let me just get there inside the pool. मैं थोड़े हाथ पैर मार लूं और फिर मैं चल फिर के मैं गिरते पड़ते मैं तैरना सीख ही जाऊंगा. It was like that more, if I may say.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a choice. Like
Uh-huh.
I had no contacts at all.
Mhm.
I was extremely an introvert. I had a very hard time talking to people. I had a big language barrier also. So MBA was the first time I started speaking English and Hindi. I had a big language barrier, cultural barrier to jump across. Like I still make jokes when I go to other podcasts. So Orissa was not a hugging culture.
Yeah.
MBA was the first time I like it took me 2 to 3 months to like come out of that box that okay I can it's okay to hug, it's okay to handshake and all. So it's a big transition
Culture
shift.
difference, yeah. Culture shock.
It's a massive,
Culture shock.
transition.
Yeah. Culture
Yeah,
shock.
yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to understand that why did you choose only MBA for that matter? Because generally bachelors and all ke baad, people they take some break, they want to explore around and stuff like that. But for you, like listening to you, I realized that you always maybe you had your vision clear, but it was just like in scattered directions.
Right. Number one is lack of exposure and awareness.
Yeah.
I had zero idea that I can do anything else apart from MBA, being dead honest. So I did not have the luxury, and I would take a lot of blame for that. Like I did not do my homework to spend a lot of time on internet and finding out are there other opportunities than MBA. I had no thing of that, and I think like now when I if I look from a third person angle, and if I take out my critical analysis lens and if I try to consider my life as a case study, then I would still say that okay, your upbringing and the place where you come from defines how are you gonna take your decision in the first career.
Yes.
The reason is that middle class mentality is so much ingrained. I do not have the vision of jumping the roof. I don't know where the roof is. My roof is only this. So which every year keeps on going high. Like right now I can think of Silicon Valley. That time I was like, okay, Silicon Valley jana is a very big deal. So that is the thing, and that's why MBA happened, because I had no idea or kya exists karta hai in the market.
Yeah, but good for you. Yeah, I mean, MBA really worked for you because बहुत बार ये बहुत सुनने में आता है कि MBA गए हो मतलब okay, now you have like a whole new world to explore out there. People come from so many different cultures, so many different backgrounds, right? So Amity is again like a whole new world, right? So were there like any kind of what do you say, any pullbacks, or like you mentioned that you were an introvert, right? So you said that it was a cultural shock and stuff like that, right? But how long did it take you to gel within that environment, for that matter? How long did it take for you?
I have never introspected like that, but I think it took me a long time. It took me at least a year to come out of, okay, let me go phase by phase. At least it took me a year to come out of the zone that, okay, I can talk to anyone. So generally, how does an introvert behave? What an
Yeah.
introvert does is, let's say if an introvert goes to a party, then I try to find the most quote unquote good looking extrovert guy, and I will say that, okay, isse baat nahi karni hai, isko out rakho. And you find people who are like you, who are shy, and like, ye easy target hai, isko pakdo. That's
Okay.
how generally your behavior works, and that's how the exact
Okay.
same thing my behavior was working. कि I was
Okay.
finding out कि okay, hostel में और कौन है जो डरा हुआ है, उससे जाके बात करो. And
Okay.
for the first year, it was like that, until there was a teacher in my college who was also our class mentor. She forced me कि okay, nahi, go to bachelors and start talking to women. Go to other departments, and it was a task. It was a task given to
I
me.
can only imagine, yeah. I mean, for an introvert, पहले ही जहाँ बात किसी से भी बात करना जहाँ difficult है, and she has given you a task to go and
Right.
talk to women only so that you could come out in truest colors.
Right, true. I don't remember what are the lines or what are the sentences I used as the first conversation starter. I'm better. I still though suck at it, but I'm much better, I would say. But yeah, it took me 1 to 2 years at least. Because again, there was a timing shift. So when I say timing shift, it means the eastern side of India, or Orissa and Bengal, has a very small culture, let's say, which is your afternoon nap. Afternoon nap is a very small nuanced culture that is there. Like, okay, कि ऑफिस का काम करके सो जा. No, I was like
Okay.
that. अब MBA में जाके सुबह 7 से लेके रात के 7 तक you are studying, and afternoon, after having your lunch, you are like damn sleepy. So it took me for the first 2 months to fix that particular thing. It took me the rest 6 months to fix how do I work in a group where one person is a Bengali, one person is a Malayali, one person is a Northeastern person, language barrier, accent barrier. How do you gel up with these people and do a task? Because you have never done that before.
Yeah.
You have never
Yeah.
shared your bed with multiple cultural folks with
That's a
different
lot
mindset.
of personal struggle, yeah. That's a lot of personal
Yeah.
struggle. Yeah.
True, and hence I do not agree with the debate that goes on LinkedIn, which is MBA versus startups. And
Oh
the
no,
primary
it's
reason
yeah.
that is just a binary way and a very narrow
Yeah.
vision of looking towards the world, which is not like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But then you being already an MBA student, and today you are mentoring, and partnering with startups, for a
Right.
lot of content creators, right? So do you find any similarity? I mean, your perspective, forget the debate and all that funda out there. Okay, but in your perspective, do you find any similarity between the MBA and the startup culture? Because for me, they are two different worlds. They align only maybe, only in some points, but it's two different worlds. Like, for
Right.
example, there is this one Shark Tank judge in Shark Tank, I
Ashwin
think
Grover?
Australia. No, not India,
Okay.
not Shark Tank India.
Okay.
I think Shark Tank USA or Shark Tank Australia. I don't remember. But
Okay.
there's this one lady who is a shark over there, and she always says that if I see a person or a startup founder who has come from the best of the B schools in in the whole world, however great his product might be, I would never invest on him. Reason
That's different
because
in
he
India.
comes, yeah, exactly. No, her reasoning is so so apt on this statement of hers, that because this person from MBA, he has some kind of air going on in his head that, oh, I'm a marketing genie,
Right.
or I'm a genie in
Right.
business. I know everything
Right.
about business, right? So I am not open to starting the work right from ground work to scaling it up to to a certain number, right? Because they understand
Right.
only numbers, but they don't understand the groundwork that goes behind building a startup,
Right.
and then they have this mentality कि oh नहीं, ये तो हम hire कर लेंगे, हम इसको hire कर लेंगे, उसको hire कर लेंगे, right? But then
Right.
what matters is, in MBA they only teach you management, but वहां पर the kind of exposure which you need to get in terms of groundwork, that is zero,
Right.
right?
So
So
there is some truth to it, I would say. Not actually some. If I be dead honest, and people can hate me for that. I don't care on that ground. Is what I have noticed, and let me give you some realistic perspective on that. So, number one, it depends on where are you doing an MBA. So from okay, let's look at from a holistic perspective, and then let's deep dive. General MBA from any college does not matter versus startups. The general difference is startups demand agility, low planning, super flexible of pivoting, high experimentation ground, super jugaad by not following the policies or whatever norms. MBA teaches everything that is opposite of that. So MBA teaches playbooks, case studies of bigger companies. So let's say, so in MBA, how the curriculum is designed, the case studies that I read on marketing are of Coca-Cola, of Pepsi. After Coca-Cola, Pepsi are huge. I have zero idea how did Coca-Cola grow from 0 to 1. Hence, if I take that person and put it in a startup and say, okay, your job role is to fix the zero ground, हमें 1 की बात नहीं करनी है, I'll be struggling. Because my training is not that. My training is, okay, give me a product which is already a super product. And I'm not marketing. I'm not in the job of scaling. I'm in a job of maintenance of that thing. But startup demands scaling. And hence there is a major skill and demand gap also. And that is the reason a lot of MBAs, even if you pass out from IIMs, people are doing cohort-based courses because still you are not able to gap the need that the startup world demands. You are a great fit for an investment banking role or investment consulting or a management consulting. That is still fine. But startup is a different ballgame altogether. And I'm talking about early stage startups. You might join a Zomato right now because Zomato is big and you have to stay. That is primarily the difference. But now talking to what you exactly said, in India, what happens is, number one, the startup founders and the investors and everyone want tier 1 MBAs, not because they are marketing genies and all. They just want to have an easy way out of interviewing. And the only proxy to understand this person is hardworking versus another person is MBA from an IIM, because they say IIM crack किया है मतलब IIM में बहुत पढ़ाई की होगी. That person is a hardworking person by nature. फिर CAT close किया है मतलब hardworking person by nature. Hence that pedigree act as a soft skill. It's not कि मतलब they are the marketing genius. इसलिए उसको उठा के ले लिया. That's the proxy. That's what I have heard. Now I have also heard this thing that MBA से उठाना does not mean that they are the domain expert of that particular field, because MBA is a general thing. So if I want someone to, let's say, handle Google ads or Facebook ads, I know for a fact I would not hire an MBA because they are not taught that. But if I want, let's say, a general manager, I might hire. So, but this is true also what I've heard, that people from tier 1 MBA colleges come with a certain mindset. Majority, very rarest of the rarest people I have seen not having that. That okay, मैं तो आया हूँ IIM से, I will not do the groundwork. It is true. It is true in India. I have noticed that. But there are very rare case scenarios where people are like, I want to do the groundwork. I want to do the hustle. Pedigree does not matter and all.
That is correct. Okay. So, coming back to your journey, right? You came from a small town. And then, this whole cultural shift to MBA, to MIT. And then from there on, you started working, right? You said, yes, luck matters. Being there at the right place at the right time, but having a clear vision, that is all comprised of luck. Right. But, what has interested me a lot in your journey is that how you have taken it. The way you were telling about it also, it was more like, much more like as if like you have had a lot of fun during all those transition periods, right? Is that true?
Right. Okay. True. I had 80% fun, 20% mess ups, 5% regrets. That's it. That's the proportion.
Okay. No, because the big city dream generally demands a lot of sacrifices, or there are a lot of prices that one needs to bear for the same, right? Were there any in your case? Because in my case there were. I mean, even though I come from Mumbai suburbs, but yet when I started working, you must be aware that traveling in Mumbai with local trains or taxi, auto, bus, it's a huge part of struggle here in Mumbai. I mean, I'm not too
True.
aware of other cities, but yes, in Mumbai
Right.
it is,
Right.
right? And
Right.
though there are not too much of like, cultural barriers when you come from within the city itself, but still, traveling from suburbs to the mainstream, central Mumbai and western sides, where there is actually like, all business mafias are sitting over there. And for me, it has been like, a lot of struggle. And the
Right.
price which I paid during that time was, losing out on good health, losing out on a lot of time, so much of work pressure, client pressure, because time management is everything over here, right? And of course, it's different for men and women, maybe slightly, not too much, but it's slightly different. But still, yes, the
Right.
struggle is there. So I can only imagine
Right.
how difficult it must have been for you, for someone who has come completely out of from a different world altogether, and then
Right.
putting their foot down and saying, okay, no,
Hmm.
this is what I'm here for. I'm here to do
Right.
something. Yeah. So how has it been for you?
So when you were asking, I was actually thinking and going back to the days,
Yeah.
and I was actually thinking that, okay, have I? So I'll just tell you how were my Mumbai days. It was very, very hard initially.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that keeps me going is I think there is a lot of things that is related to my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, unfortunately, I think right now it's my USP. I am not from a family which is extremely well to do, which
Mm-hmm.
means my graph of improvement was gradual. It was not sudden jump. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine me coming from a family which has 5 member people and total income is 4 lakhs, where my
Mm-hmm.
dad is like, okay, पूरी family को 4 लाख में चलाना है. That's a
Mm-hmm.
different ball game. आज you are earning more than 10 lakhs plus and still खुद का manage नहीं होता. I don't know how my dad does that, but
Yeah.
handling that, and then imagine कि suddenly आपका अगर salary आ जाएगा 25 lakh 30 lakh, you will
Mm-hmm.
go all crazy because you
Mm-hmm.
have not seen the graph like that.
Mm-hmm.
My journey was a very gradual graph, very slow moving
Mm-hmm.
graph, which now looks very fancy to people, but it was a very slow journey.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the thing is coming from a work ethic that I've seen my dad with. Ki,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if it just doesn't matter which city are you from, it just doesn't matter how much you are earning. It does not matter you are earning a 2 lakhs or a 20 lakhs. Your work ethic has to be all the same. Ki, okay, I'll give my same output to a 2 lakh job. I'll give my same output to a 20 lakh job. The only difference is not in the input, it is in the output. Ki 2 lakh ke job mein I am doing more errors. My output
Mm-hmm.
is not that great quality. 20 lakhs mein input same hai, lesser errors and higher quality.
Mm-hmm.
Input never changes on that part. So when I went to Mumbai, my salary was not that good. I think my first salary was 4 lakhs, which
Mm-hmm.
right now, whenever I'm hiring these days, so I say 4 lakh salary, people are like, nahi, bare minimum 6 lakh chaliye. Because
Yeah.
cost of living is pretty high.
Yeah.
I was living in a house where 13 people were already there. So
Oh my God.
हाँ, तो मैं नीचे सो रहा था एक आदमी के साथ. That was my first house, and that was there for 2 years. I used to travel from Chembur to Lower Parel via local train, which is a 20 to 30 minutes journey, I guess. But again, no one likes going in the morning in that summers and in that humidity in the local train and
True.
office में जाके you are at the peak. मैं 4 साल local train में travel किया हूँ because I did not have the luxury for cab.
Yeah.
So, however, I moved to Bangalore. The primary reason was I want to save that cost. The cost of living is way too high. But that was a glimpse of my initial days. My working hours were like morning 9 a.m. to night 9 p.m. But as a digital marketer's work life is like, and I was,
24/7.
it's almost 24/7. रात के 3 बजे call आएगा, customer acquisition cost high चला गया. And I'll be like, मैं क्या करूँ रात के 3 बजे? How will I fix it right now? So I made a post on LinkedIn and I make a joke about it. And this is not a joke. This is actually true. All the digital marketers, including me, I have worked in public toilets, opening the laptop and working because something has gone wrong. Bus stops, on the hills, inside a event. I remember NH7 weekend चल रहा है. Event के अंदर ही people are just dancing and मैं laptop चला रहा हूँ. You name it, I have done it in those places, the work. But yeah, and now I enjoy it. I think I don't look at it as a hardship anymore. I think I've found not the work-life balance, I would rather say. Because every time I think about, okay, this is work and this is life, you will never be able to mend it well. Your work is life, your life is work. It is drifted around. You compartmentalize. It is not separate things. I don't think so. So I think I have made my peace with that right now. Yeah, I mean, I would rather say that, okay, just because I have my role is a laptop based role, I can work from anywhere.
Yes.
I have the luxury. Not everyone has that luxury. So an operations person working in a factory, I can't say the same thing for him or her. It is a very tedious job. I cannot be that person. So I have some luxury in my role and department also.
Correct. Okay. Coming to your professional life, right? We have understood your journey so far, right? But you have switched spaces within the same field of or
Right.
within the same industry, right? So
Right.
is it different from when you started to now, and how is it different, or is it different perspective-wise from city to city? I mean, does it change like geographically also? Because as a digital marketer, I can only sit here and analyze and have some reviews from people who are sitting maybe in Delhi or Kolkata or somewhere else, right? But you have actually been there, done that, right?
Right.
So please shed some light on that.
So, see, marketing exists in the cultural nuances. If I do not understand how Bombay people behave, I cannot imagine I join a Vada Pav company which wants to be the McDonald's of Vada Pav. If I don't know how the Bombay nuances and the cultural nuances are, how they talk, how they behave, I cannot do marketing for them. I just can't. Which
Right.
means every city I go to, even if I'm doing a remote job, let's say, and if I'm selling a brand which is existing in Gujarat, I have to do my homework and research about Gujaratis. There is no other way. And unfortunately, the only way to understand it is by being in that city. No matter how many people you talk to who are Gujaratis, watch a lot of videos, you just can't get it. You just can't get it. So I was very clear in the initial days that, okay, I want to explore multiple metros. I was very clear about that. I want to live sometime in Bombay, sometime in Hyderabad, sometime in Bangalore. Number one, to decide which city resembles with me. Number two, I want to understand the cultural nuances on that. And what I observed is, number one, every time you change a city, the people around you, the working dynamics, the work ethic, the style of working, the style of business changes. So Delhi marketers are very different from your Bombay marketers. The timings are different. The shifts are different. The way you write a marketing copy is different. It's a lot different around that. Now, number two is every time I shift companies, it's basically different founders, different leadership, different mid-senior, different product. So everything shifts also. So I have to relearn, unlearn a lot of things. And I'm very, very conscious about one thing. I do not want to die with a designation which is tied up with a particular company. Like, my identity should not be marketer at Netflix. That's it. The day people remember me that, okay, Sindhu exists not because of Sindhu, but because of Netflix, I think I'm doing something wrong to my own personality.
Correct.
So, and I'm very, very clear about that. This conviction is growing with time, very, very stronger. That is the reason, like, there are two schools of thoughts that people say. Number one is stick with a company for a longer time.
Yes.
Number two is switch companies. I think it is not that binary. You switch companies because of some legit reasons.
Yes.
किसी का मजा नहीं आता है every time you leave a job and then go into job finding, because it's not that easy. Drop your old friends, make new friends, make new lunch buddies. It's very hard. It's very hard. But what's most, so I directly work with founders. So majority of my switches, the issue, not the issue, but the challenge is building that rapport with the founders for the first 3 to 4 months, because their mind shift is very different. So a founder in an event space thinks in a very different way than a founder in a fintech space. Very different thought, very different way of working, very different view towards how team should be formed. And every time I have to gel with the culture. So that shift keeps on changing. And that is the biggest shift, actually, more than geographies.
So you're saying that a company is more about the leadership than the marketing, or is it the other way around?
No, the culture flows from top to bottom. Simple.
Mm.
What the founder does, the beautiful analogy I learned about the culture building. I don't remember exactly which video on YouTube, but the
Mhm.
gentleman said that, okay, the founder has a set of beliefs.
Mm.
The founder hires the first leadership who is a copycat of themselves
Mm.
and trains them to build a team of soldiers who are a copycat of their own thing. So
Yeah. So basically, you
technically, founder is
replicate.
building a
Yeah.
copycat of your own
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah. So basically, compounding effect, in replication.
Right.
Like you mentioned that businesses or the startups are led by leaders. And it's all a game of correct leadership and not just a
Right.
game of marketing, right? But do you also feel that business of marketing or the business of movie making or ad making is not for all?
All as in on the employee side, like not everyone can join.
No, I mean, like in general, like, these days, like, what I meant to ask is, like, there are so many creators these days, right? Every
Got it.
second person wants to get into either digital marketing or some kind of marketing or advertising, and since the last 5 years, there has been a tremendous growth in terms of admissions in the BMM side of education sector,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and also, with every second person, even kids want to get into, like, a creative aspect, because there's so
Right.
much of exposure these days, and this generation has great exposure because they came in an internet generation. When we were
Right.
growing up, there was no internet, and just say, at least, you could also search on internet, okay, what are the streams that I could explore and all that, right? But this was not the case like 10, 12 years ago, right? And the startups who are now, like, huge names in their respective industries, they have started
Hmm.
years ago. It's not that कि अभी 4-5 साल पहले बस आए हैं और बस boom हुआ है. ऐसे नहीं है,
Right.
right? So that's what I mean to ask you, like, as an advice, what is that one thing that you think, or what is your perspective to tell to these people or to these creators who
Hmm.
think that this is so easy, this is a cakewalk, मुझे करना क्या है,
Right.
बस creatively कुछ बना के निकालना है and मैं famous हो जाऊंगा, या क्या मैं आज
Right.
स्टार्टअप
Right.
खोल दूंगा, 2-3 साल में मैं फेमस हो जाऊंगा, मेरा इतना इतना सेल हो जाएगा, हम इतने नंबर्स दिखाएंगे, हम IPO करेंगे and stuff like that, right? I mean,
Right.
there are two ways to look at it, right? People come
Right.
here
Right.
for two reasons. One is passion. Okay, they are really creative from within. Okay, and second is like they just want fame. It's a glamorous world out there, and yeah,
Right.
they just want to have like fans and everything and that stuff.
So let me talk about content first. Okay.
Yes.
So there is a concept, there is a word or a phrase you might say called as barriers to entry. And
हाँ.
हर business या हर industry का barrier to entry होता है. That okay,
Hmm.
how much of a friction exists in that particular industry for you to enter, and higher the barriers to entry,
Hmm.
the higher chances of building a monopoly in that particular business.
Hmm.
And higher your power of building a monopoly, higher your chances to build wealth. Simple.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if I summarize this into very simplest and easy terms, if there exists one particular skill, there exists one particular business, there exists one particular idea that some people can do, your chances to build money is very high. If there exists something that a lot of people can easily do, your chances is very, very low because your competition is super duper high. Now, यहाँ पे content का game आता है कि cheaper
Yeah.
internet packs
Yeah.
and cheaper mobile phones with good
Yeah.
quality cameras
Yes.
unlock the potential of creating content. That is good. But इसमें पैसे कौन बना रहा है? इसमें पैसे बना रहे हैं social media apps, and इसमें पैसे बना रहे हैं hardware. इस पे पैसे content creators on a large scale नहीं बनाते हैं. So the content industry also follows the Pareto principle. Pareto principle is your 80-20. Okay, in every industry, only some percentage of people are earning the maximum, बाकी सारे नहीं कमा रहे हैं. Now the point comes around making money. Creating content is not equal to building a content business. Both are separate things. So you have to be extremely clear about for what you are creating content. Are you creating content to build a content business? Then the plan is different, strategy is different. Are you creating content which will upsell or push your main product? That strategy is different. So for an example, maybe I have a website, and to promote that website, I'm using Instagram Reels as a medium. then मेरा agenda follower growth का नहीं है. मेरा agenda है how many traffic that I'm generating from the reels and how many traffic is getting diverted to the website. If it is not, then maybe I'm becoming very, very famous, but my main agenda is not getting cleared here. So that particular thing has to be extremely clear. And even if you want to be famous, it is still fine. What is the definition of famous? Is the definition of famous ki 6 months I want to have a certain number so that I can get brand deals? Because सबको अपना पेट पूरा करना है.
Yeah.
Why are you doing the effort if effort to income ratio is pretty bad?
Yes.
जब तक वो clarity है, then everything is in sync. If you do not have clarity, you are doing just for the sake of it and you are happy. No issues on that. But the problem that the majority of the content creators, again, I see is the logic of the same thing that we see in the MNC versus startup world. कि people leave MNC because उनको लगता है startup में freedom है. People leave job and do creation because उनको लगता है creation is freedom.
Yes.
Boss, you are a slave of the algorithm. Simple सी बात है.
Yes.
ऑफिस में बॉस दिन में एक बार डांटता था. यहाँ पे every month your algorithms change without even permission.
Yeah.
And you cannot
Do
cannot
anything
shout
about
back
it.
also.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
वहां पे you still have an issue कि okay HR के पास जाके बोल सकते हो मेरा बॉस मेरे को गाली दे रहा है. I don't like him. यहाँ पे you cannot go to say Mark Zuckerberg change my algorithm. I
There's
want
no
to fire
scope to
him or whatever.
complain. Yeah. Yeah.
So just be very, very cautious about that. What is your plan? Mera idea around content is very, very simple. Maybe because I come from that industry around the business, that if your content does not generate a tangible outcome in terms of economy, it makes no sense. मेरे हिसाब से.
Okay.
So if your content is not building a path towards your financial freedom for a later stage, the currently whatever you are doing is just for a dopamine hit. कि अच्छा ऑफिस से आगे गाली सुन के 5-6 बार रात को आके कंटेंट डाल दिए, 100 लोगों ने बोल दिया कि कंटेंट अच्छा है, आई डोंट नो ऑल 100 ऑफ देम एंड आई जस्ट फील हैप्पी. इट्स जस्ट अ माइन्यूट डोपामिन हिट. ये 100 लोग भूल जाएंगे एक महीने बाद. बिकॉज सोशल मीडिया वर्क्स ऑन रिसेंसी एंड एवरी टाइम दे हैव टू अपडेट. They cannot push you for life. They have to get the new entrants, push them, make them gods for 1 year, then do the visarjan of them, then find new gods. That's how the algorithms work. So you will never be relevant for a longer time. हमने बॉलीवुड एक्टर्स को नहीं छोड़ा, सोशल मीडिया क्रिएटर्स का कुछ भी नहीं है. हम 4 साल एक एक्टर को फेमस बनाते हैं, उसके बाद we just do the visarjan of them.
Yeah, dump.
That's the reality we live in.
Yeah. Yeah, but then do you really think that, I mean, from my perspective, if I see the gap between a creator and a celebrity, the gap in terms of everything, the fame, the money, the longevity of their careers, right? Everything has started to diminish.
Right.
It has come down to very negligible difference these days. Is it true?
Not really, I would say. See, again, the point is this, that, okay, longevity of celebrities exists. So, okay, let me put this example. Shah Rukh Khan's longevity is right now very long because Shah Rukh Khan existed in the market for 15 years.
Yes.
Now, if you as a creator exist on Instagram, for that, Instagram needs to exist also for 15 years.
Yes.
Then your longevity will be also high. But here is the main trick. Shah Rukh Khan is not tied up to a platform. The problem of content creation is, again, the same thing that I told you, that I don't want my identity being an identity of a brand. I want my own. Shah Rukh Khan is Shah Rukh Khan. That's why his own brand. So he is not a Bollywooder or Instagrammer or YouTuber. So that's the main problem. And once you create your identity as an Instagrammer, it's very hard to dissociate from that.
Yes.
So this whole branding exercise has to be very, very conscious. Now, the problem is actors spend a lot of time, maybe because they have money, they have power, they have image consultants, they have PR consultants, helping them out in the craft of क्योंकि आपकी branding, आपके brand कैसा दिखेगा. And Instagrammers do not pay a lot of money and do not hire these people for that. Maybe it's a high time. Like I know large Instagrammers do that.
Yes. Yes.
But still, in our conversation, we are calling them Instagrammers. That's what my problem is. We are not calling out their name.
Correct.
And there are multiple
do you think
examples.
This is going to happen, right?
This is already happening. I have a slightly pessimistic view towards this, that in every industry, wherever we have seen barriers to entry is almost negligible. longevity
Yes.
does not exist. It's hard to create a monopoly. Longevity just does not exist, which means you have the lifespan looks very small.
Mm.
You become famous for 2 years, quickly pivot, do something else, launch a business, launch a brand of business, then do that for 5 years, then change the scheme of things.
Mm.
That's what the things are.
Okay. I mean, this really got pretty interesting for that matter. But these creators getting chances in acting streams, in OTTs, in web series, in films, and all. Like recently, we saw Karim and Ati in an Ajay Devgan film, right? So
Right.
while the scope is huge, but still the longevity is very small,
True.
right?
True.
Right. But then, there must have been like so many cases like who have fallen flat on their face. So many
Right.
YouTubers, so many content creators who were a huge hit for once, right? But then with time, the graph has only gone down, right?
Mm.
So you are working closely with a lot of creators these days. And also you have worked on the other side of marketing in movies and, in OTT platforms also, right? So what do you think is the difference of perspectives in these both sides?
Primary difference is creators do not have the business acumen.
Mhm.
Hence, they have a massive following which they are not able to monetize.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest challenge. If you have a massive 1 million following
Mhm.
and the only way you are monetizing the whole audience is by doing brand deals, then there is a bigger problematic in that area.
Bigger issue,
Because
yeah.
brand deals are like what? Brand deals, the same brand is not going to fund your every month. The same brand might be give you 2 brand deals per year. That's it. And you also know that, okay, once you become a larger influencer, your ticket size also gets higher. So not a lot of brands can fund you
Hmm.
because not a lot of brands have the money. So which means you need to have your own monetization angle. And
Yeah.
hence we see the finance creators are doing pretty well because the majority of the money is coming from courses, not from brand deals. They are doing
Okay.
courses, they are doing equity deals with fintech companies.
Mhm.
They're doing very, very strategic models. That is also the reason Bhuvan Bam started its own production house. Because he was like, okay, if Bollywood takes me as an actor, I will still be a side actor. And
Yeah.
it does not matter how big of a YouTuber I am.
Yeah.
So the only way I have to get into the business of making the web series by build my own web series, make a big hit out of it, then maybe sell the intellectual property to Amazon Prime or Netflix, and it can become a Netflix original. And that is my business flywheel. So the problem is the creators lack the business acumen, and the only way to crack this particular thing is by hiring a consultant or hiring someone, because generally there is no agency who does that in India.
Yes.
Or getting someone in your team who is a business person and build this stuff. There's a massive opportunity, I feel, creators building their own apps and websites. Like an example, the best example is Ranveer Alabadia, let's say, stands for spirituality and meditation.
Yes.
And hence building a meditation app like Levels
Yes.
makes a best fit for him.
Yeah.
Which a lot of creators are not doing. So he took a different
Yeah.
route. He was like, okay, let me find a co-founder
Hmm.
who will build his own tech team and all. This is not content creation at all. This is something absolutely different.
Yeah.
And then let that business run. And I am not a creator anymore. I'm just like a marketer of that particular business.
Correct. So this was a strategic
this
move.
strategic shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And there are a lot of examples. There is another example where we see there is a guy called Shloka. Shloka's YouTube name is Tech. I forgot the name. Very big tech channel. He launched a business around skins, phone ke skins.
Yeah,
Massive
yeah,
business.
yeah.
It's called
Tech
layers.
burner.
You know,
Tech burner.
Tech burner. Correct.
Yeah,
मैं नाम भूल रहा।
yeah.
So Tech burner's business strategy is like, okay, ठीक है, I am a tech channel right now.
Yes.
The only way to make money is brand solutions, brand deals. Let me launch business. So skins is one business. Then he launched a oversized t-shirt brand, another business.
Yes.
And you can keep on launching stuff. You can launch phone covers. You can launch iPad ke covers
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tempered glasses. खत्म नहीं होगा, चलता रहेगा.
Okay. Because these apps and they define a particular content creator. And जब
Right.
से हमने वो चाइना का बैन देख लिया, टिकटॉक बैन देख लिया, तो तब से सारे क्रिएटर्स थोड़ा सा हिल गए हैं. एंड नाउ दे आर लाइक
Right.
ओके नो, हमने पैसा बना लिया है, ब्रांड तो बिल्ड होते ही रहेगा, खुद का पर्सनल ब्रांड. तो लेट अस जस्ट spread out, spread out in different streams. Is that so?
Right. Yeah. Like that is the only. Okay. How I look at it is this way. If you already have influence on your audience, then technically you are a better marketing manager or a marketing head. Because marketing का काम क्या है? Marketing by definition is I working in so and so brand means I am the influencer of that brand.
Yes.
मेरे को लोगों को influence करना है to buy that brand. So which means you can influence your own audience. If you can influence an audience around likes, that is the easiest thing. Likes ka influencer is not the influencer. If you can influence the audience to buy your thing, then you know you are a real influencer. तो मेरा तो एक simple सा format होता है. I don't care about how many likes you get. I don't care about how many followers you have. आपके total followers का 5% का audience अगर monetizable audience है, which means 5%, at least 5% if your audience pays you, that means you actually have an influence, because that is the hardest job, to sell your people your stuff.
That means you are sustainable.
That means you are
आप पे
sustainable.
पैसा लगाया जा सकता है.
Correct. No, that means also that people trust you.
Yes.
Likes पे trust नहीं होता है ना. People trust that okay, anything that you do, like Tata, we know as a brand name is the biggest influencer. Tata कल को कोई ऐसी इंडस्ट्री में घुसता है, let's say जिसके ऊपर टाटा स्टैंड भी नहीं करता, people will buy because people have trust on the Tata's brand name.
Tata. Correct. So, Sindhu, with your various, streams that you have been in and, throughout your life, which is that you must have met like a lot of people from different backgrounds altogether, different industries, right? So, what is that one advice that has stuck to you till date? And what is the worst advice that you will never forget?
So initially in the startup world, like there's a very, very famous phrase which says, break fast, build fast,
Yes.
or some build fast, break fast, move forward, like that. I used to believe in that philosophy. Now it has changed. Now the philosophy is just plan better. You don't need to break a lot of things. Planning is necessary, both planning in terms of personal life, both planning in terms of your health, both planning in terms of everything. Money is not everything. So I have now started thinking that, okay, if someone is giving me a 8 lakh job and the working hours is, let's say, 6 hours. And if someone gives me 30 lakhs job and the working hours is, let's say, 15 lakhs, I will not do. 15 hours, I will not do. The primary reason is I don't have time to spend that money also.
Yeah.
So every time ask yourself that, okay, more you start moving upwards to your life, your body will start getting slower.
Yes.
You will have more responsibilities to carry and stuff. Your parents are getting older, which means they need more of your time. Which means we have a fixed time and we keep on renting out time to other folks.
Correct.
If I cannot rent out more time beyond a certain limit. So you have to be very, very conscious about that. And like I have started feeling that, okay, passion is just a random excuse that we give to ourselves to hide our own insecurities.
Yeah. Hide our demons or insecurities.
Yeah. So I used to feel that, okay, passion is something that is very, very thing. I do understand hobbies are important. You might have a hobby. But if I ask you that, okay, are you passionate about watching, creating movies or reading a book? You will say, no, I give equal importance to both. Then technically those are hobbies, not passion. Passion is something which you can do something for free for the rest of your life.
Yes. Totally.
So I have stopped finding passion, going into that pursuit and stuff. And that's what I would recommend, that, okay, the most important passion that you should have is how can I save a lot of my time by earning either same or more, so that I can give the save time to people that I love. That's the only equation that you should be optimizing for. And that's my only advice, especially to the people in the startup world, because it keeps getting toxic year by year.
Okay. And the worst advice that you have received in your life, which you will never forget?
Hustle. I have received the worst advice that in your early career, you should hustle, you should work extra hours, you should just pick up more stuff. You should say all yeses to your seniors, never question them. I think that's the words advice at this point of time. It used to make sense during
Back
those time
then. Yeah, yeah.
back then, because then see, the society has been designed in certain ways to stop you to do critical thinking and question the playbooks that has been designed by your quote unquote seniors or your upper
Yes.
generation.
Yes.
But the paradox is also, unless you challenge the playbooks and the status quo and build your own thinking, you cannot cross a certain threshold. You just can't. Which means you have to develop a lot of enemies, and that's how the design of the game is. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Basically,
so
break the
there is the
barrier.
hidden suggestion and the correct break the barriers. But to break the barriers, you need to have your original thinking in place.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because again, there's this famous quote, I don't remember the author's name, that everything that we dream or think of is a borrowed thought of someone else. And that is absolutely true. There is nothing called as original thinking. You have borrowed some thought of someone else, and you have
Yes.
just put a nice packaging wrapper on top of it.
Yeah. And that packaging and wraparound is maybe called as passion or dreams or,
Yeah.
further.
So at this point of time, I have milestones. I don't have a dream, and I'm very open about it. Milestones are good, but dreams is, I think, very abstract.
Okay. Okay. So as we move to the end of this episode, so we have a quick rapid fire for you.
Okay.
And I will make sure that this gets a little tough for you.
But I suck at rapid fires, but okay, let me try.
Okay. Okay. So starting with marketing or advertising?
I mean, advertising is under marketing, but advertising.
Okay. Mumbai, Bangalore or Dehradun?
Bangalore.
Okay. मुंबई का वड़ा पाव या देहरादून के पकौड़े या बैंगलोर का
कुछ
अच्छा
नहीं है
मौसम?
कुछ नहीं है मुंबई's vada pav.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should parcel in one vada pav to you over there.
If it stays hot and crispy, then for sure.
Okay. Okay. If given a chance with celebrity or entrepreneur or a writer, would you like to meet and why?
Ratan Tata for sure.
Okay.
There are and can I name foreigners like US people and all?
Yeah,
UK people
yeah,
and all?
why not? It's a global
Then Elon
podcast.
Musk. Then Elon Musk for sure. Yeah.
Okay, and why? Why only these two out of the whole lot?
So Tata, because massive respect,
So
and to draw so you don't, so okay, here is something that is very interesting, that okay, in India you call almost every entrepreneur by the name, but when you call Tatas, you are like, okay, sir,
yes.
and a lot of respect comes and everything, and only because of the decision makings and the ethics that they stand for. So I just want to meet and to see that, okay, what keeps on driving him at this age also. Because what is the India vision? They are very groundly rooted to India vision and all. Elon Musk, because he's the only person who I resemble a lot of personality with, not all the toxic personalities I'm talking about, primarily his context switching is super high.
Okay.
Like, he's the only person who can join a social media company, join an AI company, join a car company, and is almost successfully running all of those. And these are very different. Like a rocket company is very different than a car company, extremely different than Twitter, which is now called X. Super different businesses. How does a man switch his context? Because it is very, very hard as a leader to switch context around that part.
Yeah, but isn't that a little bit scary? Because you can be, a jack of all and, master of
Like
none.
My problem is he's the only live example we have whose all brands are working great.
Good.
He's the only one person. So I used to believe jack of all, masters of none is a real thing, but he's the only outlier who defies that.
Okay.
And I'm not agreeing to the firing his hiring styles and all. I just don't agree.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, where does he find a lot of time to build memes and do a lot of Twitter? I just don't understand where is the time coming from.
The team does it for them, no?
I mean, I don't know who is doing it, but it seems he has massive time management skills.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. Do you think all entrepreneurs have some or the other toxic trait with them?
True.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Almost
it
all
true?
entrepreneurs are dictators by heart. Almost.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true that all entrepreneurs love the materialistic world a bit more than the peaceful or
Not
balanced
all.
life that?
Not all. Most of them, yes. The primary reason is so entrepreneurship is the game that you play inside capitalistic market. So you
Yes.
cannot play that game without understanding how money works and how economy works. And if you have to be a socialist or you have to follow the socialism principles and all, then you are actually building a not-for-profit business. Then technically you are a social entrepreneur, not just entrepreneur. So by default, yes, they should have some materialistic view. Otherwise, you will be drifted all around.
Okay. Your one-liner advice to the youth shall be?
So I like a quote of Jordan Peterson, which I like, and I framed it. I think it is there, zoomed out. I'll just read that quote for you. It says, "You are more powerful than you think."
Yeah.
That's it. There is some. So I remember I was watching a YouTube video and he just said it casually. There are some quotes na, matlab you are like, okay, there is massive
Yaad reh
layers
jata
to
hai.
it. You can resemble it. Yaad reh jata hai and all. That is the quote for me. You are more powerful than you think.
Correct. Choose one, Finance with Sharan or Varun Maya. Favorite creator?
Acha, favorite creator?
Hmm.
Varun Maya. Because I resemble with, I mean, both of them are friends. But I resemble with his content because I'm curious about AI. Finance, no, I think almost whatever he has done, almost whatever he publishes, 80-85% I have read and learned from other creators, and hence I do not watch a lot of his content.
Okay. If you were left on a beach and were allowed any three things, one of them being a form of art, which would that be?
One of them being a form of art.
Yes, I mean any form of art.
I have to name the form of arts, like you mean Madhubani, Rajasthani, those art styles and all. So I resemble and I like Madhubani art a lot, like a lot. Initially, I used to be more around Western abstract art, but now it's Madhubani. Yeah.
Okay, and the other two things? Yeah, you're left on a beach.
Okay, other two things can be without art, like non-art stuff.
Yeah.
I want a chat GPT on my phone,
Okay.
so that I don't feel alone, I guess. And I
But
want
the beach doesn't have a network.
Yeah, that was my third point. I want a tower cable internet connection near me. But any which ways, if I don't have, I need a stationery and a paper.
Pretty
And
much
the
sounding like
reasoning
a
is,
creative person. Yeah.
yeah, the reasoning is I want to just do a lot of drawings. So even if I die, that stays there. Ki okay, koi kuch bolna chahta tha.
Wow. Now this will stay with me. Okay. Your favorite movie till date and why? Is it the storytelling? Is it the artists? Or is it the writer? Is it the
There are a
cinematography? What?
lot.
Hmm.
There are a lot, but right now what I can think of is Interstellar. Number one, it's
Okay.
Nolan, the direction, the respect for the fact that Nolan does not do a lot of CGI. He believes in shooting it for real. So there is a lot of camera technique. So massive respect for the technicalities that goes. Second is the idea of time that it has been shown. The idea of dad and daughter relationship that has been shown.
Yeah.
It's the only sci-fi movie that starts becoming a sci-fi but becomes not a love story but very emotional movie at the end. So that complexity is very interesting, and obviously not discounting the fact that first sci-fi movie to show how a black hole might look like. First movie that talks about the complex theories around quantum with almost accuracy. Almost
Yes.
accuracy. It's not just random sci-fi.
Okay. Okay. And last one, my favorite, because this aligns with my book, ambition or love?
I think love is ambition.
You
Yeah, I
just
mean,
found a
yeah, I
midway.
think no, love is ambition. True. It's easy for me to grab a job. It's not easy for me to find a love
Find
at
out.
all. It's not at all. It's easy for me to stick in a job. So retention. It's hard for me to have a very good retention relationship. You have to do massive hard work for that. So yeah,
Relationships are a
I
lot
think
of
for me,
work.
yeah, true. Which we are not trained. You have all the playbooks for getting a job, sticking in a job. You don't have any playbook for how to deal with women, how to deal with men, how relationships are formed and stuff.
Correct, correct. Well, thank you so much, Sidhu. This was a really fun-filled and a lot more intellectual episode. I hope you enjoyed too.
I'm glad. Oh yes, absolutely. I love the way you crafted the questions. That makes me think also. So a lot of credit goes to you also. But thanks. I had a good time in this episode.
Thank you so much, Sidhu.
Thank you. Take care.
So that's it, guys. I hope you really loved this whole episode and the conversations that we had. I'm sure they must have added some value to your daily life. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any new fresh episodes that we have lined up for you all. And I promise to bring some amazing achievers as guests on this podcast so that they can share their inspiring stories with you all. And like I always say, don't forget to believe in yourself. Take care. Oh, wait, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Subscribe now